Hello, I'm Tah the Trickster.
I'm Helen Mad Harley.
We hate Twilight.
We do.
It's a horrible book.
Dreadful.
And this girl is completely insane.
Woo!
Out of her mind.
Crazy, crazy lady.
Yeah. And so we decided we had to correct her on quite a few things.
Several things.
Shall we get started?
Yes.
Let's.
So, Stephen King thinks it's okay to bash Stephenie Meyer, to start out on her in public because he's not getting any limelight, whereas Twilight most certainly is. Well, I don't think that's okay. I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to explain exactly why Stephen King needs to go and Okay, point number one. This is what Stephen King has been saying about Stephenie Meyer. I'm going to read straight from the article on Hollywood.com, which I'm also going to post a link to in the video, in the sidebar. That way, I think. I don't know. One of those ways. Okay. King didn't mince his words. Both Rowling and Meyer, they're speaking directly to young people, he said. The real difference is that Jo Rowling is a terrific writer and Meyer can't write worth a darn. So you think that Stephenie Meyer can't write? Well, I think around about 18 million people disagree, because that's how many copies her books have sold. Okay? First of all, Twilight has generated so much public interest and so much of, just attention in general. The movie, the books, the merchandise, everything about Twilight has generated so much more attention than, as far as I can remember, any of your books ever did.
Stephen King has never garnered any attention?
None?
Or are you not familiar with the scene where two girls stand in a hallway?
Red Rum?
Blood coming out of the elevator doors.
Here's Johnny!
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
No, I've never heard of any of that.
Wonder where that came from.
I have no idea. It's certainly not anything related to Stephen King, right?
Certainly not anything that he wrote and turned into a best-selling
Movie. Starring Jack Nicholson?
I don't know, maybe.
No.
Nah. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're good books. They're classic books. Personally, I don't like them. I can't ever get past the third page without boring myself silly. Some people feel the same way about Twilight. Not a problem. Just don't start to me about it, because I don't care.
She says that she likes Twilight better than Stephen King because she couldn't get past the first 3 pages of Stephen King.
Yes.
It's because Twilight is an easy read.
Easy. Allow
me to read you the first page of Stephenie Meyer's New Moon. I was 99.9% sure I was dreaming. The reasons I was so certain that, first, I was standing in a bright shaft of sunlight, the kind of blinding clear sun that never shone on my drizzly new hometown in Forks, Washington. And second, I was going to get my Grandma Marie. Granny had been dead for 6 years now, so that was solid evidence toward the dream theory. Gran hadn't changed much. Her face looked just the same as I remembered it. The skin was soft and withered, bent into 1,000 tiny creases that clung gently to the bone underneath.
What?
Like a dried apricot, but with a puff of thick white hair standing out in a cloud around it. Our mouths, hers a wizened pucker, spread into the same surprised half-smile at just the same time. Apparently, she hadn't been expecting to see me either. I was about to ask her a question. I had so many. What was she doing here in my dream? What had she been up to for the past 6 years? Was Pop okay? And had they found each other wherever they were? But she opened her mouth when I did, so I stopped to let her go first. She paused, too, and then we both smiled a little at the awkwardness. Bella? It wasn't Gran who called my name, and we both turned to see the addition to our small reunion. I didn't have to look to know who it was. This was a voice I would know anywhere, know and respond to whether I was awake or asleep, or even dead, I'd bet. The voice I'd walk through fire for, or less dramatically, slosh every day through the cold and endless rain for, Edward. Exciting stuff.
Intense.
Start out with a dream sequence? Who does that?
What?
Now allowed us to read the first paragraph of this Stephen King novel entitled
Bag of Bones. On a very hot day in August of 1994, my wife told me she was going down to the dairy Rite Aid to pick up a refill on her sinus medicine prescription. This is stuff you can buy over the counter these days, I believe. I'd finished writing for the day and offered to pick it up for her. She said thanks, but she wanted to get a piece of fish at the supermarket next door anyway. 2 birds with 1 stone and all that. She blew a kiss at me off the palm of her hand and went out. The next time I saw her, she was on TV. That's how you identified the dead here in Derry. No walking down a subterranean corridor with green tiles on the walls and long fluorescent bars overhead. No naked Boliday rolling out of a chilly drawer on casters. You just go into an office marked private and look at a TV screen and say yep or nope.
That's already more interesting than a dream sequence, don't you think?
Yes.
I kind of want to read that book now.
I know.
I haven't read it before.
I haven't even heard of this book, and I want to read it now.
I know.
Dude. I'm not even a Stephen King fangirl either, and I want to read this.
I don't know. Man.
How dare Stephen King start in on Stephenie Meyer just because he wants a piece of the limelight? Because I can't think of any other reason why he would have done this, other than to try and get a little bit of the limelight that Twilight has generated on himself.
You know, Stephen King does have his own limelight.
He's published a few things.
Just a little.
Written a few screenplays. Had his own couple of comics.
Yeah.
It's kind of got kind of a limelight going already.
Yeah, just a touch.
Whole video is off the top of my head, okay, because I'm trying to just say what I think without it being scripted. I want to just get it all out.
No, you say that you wanted to do this video unscripted, but you know, scripting is a good thing. Scripting means you've done some research. Means you've planned it out a little bit. Means you sound more intelligent.
It means I don't go off on a tangent about Bruce Campbell.
It means that especially.
Hi, Bruce.
So as far as Stephen King feels and can tell and thinks, as far as I can tell from this, the reason that he thinks Twilight is so successful with the age group that it is successful with, which is teenage girls,
And really sad single moms.
Them too, yeah.
is because it covers sexual topics without going too far into detail.
But they did have sex.
Where were you?
Didn't you read the books?
They did the deed.
They did the horizontal truffle shuffle.
They knocked boots.
They did the nasty.
Yeah. I don't know where she was.
Did she read that book? I mean,
they did it, but God knows how.
yeah, I mean, he doesn't have blood, so he can't get it.
I wanna make some babies. I wanna get it on. I wanna make you horny, but I can't get it on.
Because it's not about that. Edward isn't a pervert, he's not a paedophile.
Edward is kind of a pedophile. He's 109. How old was Bella when the series started?
17?
Yeah. We did some math, and,
We're smart.
yeah.
Math kids.
Yes. And we discovered that if Edward was even just 32, then Bella would be 5.
5.
Is that still hot? Is that still romantic?
Yummy.
The reason Edward goes into Bella's room at night and watches her sleep is because he can't sleep. He wants to see what it's like. He's fascinated, not turned on. There's nothing sexual about it.
Edward watches her in her sleep because he doesn't know what sleep is like.
It's fascinating.
Didn't he know what sleep was like before he turned into a vampire?
Yeah? Didn't he have that before?
And it's fascinating to him because he can't do it anymore, right?
Yeah, so like, yawning?
Breathing?
Eating?
Peeing?
Not only does he have a nose like a skeleton, but oh my god, no, okay, that's not fair. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
No. You shouldn't have brought looks into it. But now that you mention it...
Have you ever noticed how much Stephenie Meyer looks like Bella Swan?
Hmm.
I'm gonna cast